Well, Tesla's earnings were once again very lackluster and immediately sent the stock price falling lower. Outside of the Tesla bull, I'm not sure anyone liked the earnings completely. Now, it wasn't a disaster like last earnings call was, but it wasn't good either, so we're in for more sustained pain in the stock price, unfortunately. So the question becomes, how low will it go? And is it prudent to actually sell the stock and wait for it to fall lower before buying it once again? So let's kind of discuss all that today, in addition to my take on the earnings, right after you hit that like button if you like getting the truth without the hype, because I know some people aren't going to be happy, but guess what, guys? This is part of the journey. This is part of really investing, is getting some hard truths about the stocks that you love and you love to own. And I guess for those that aren't mad at me completely, check out the new channel down there where we talk about financial freedom and retiring early. That's all the content that's there. So make sure you check out and subscribe over there if you want to retire early and have financial freedom. All right. So we actually listened to the call in real time in my group there. Thank you very much. We had a huge crowd there. Everybody was kind of participating, tons of questions, stuff like that. But we don't have an hour plus time frame to kind of cram all that into this video here. So I'm just going to kind of give you the top 4 highlights from that, kind of 2 positives, 2 negatives there. So that way you guys have kind of my take on that. And then we'll talk about the price action from there and whether or not it is actually prudent to sell or not. So highlight number 1, next gen vehicle is still a long way off. Look, I have been saying from the start, don't include that in your projections yet. And more importantly, you can't really accurately project beyond a year. I would say you can get a reasonable answer beyond a year. 2 years gets a little bit murky. Anything beyond that, you are strictly guessing on any stock in regards to what it's going to do. And especially a new product like that, this baby isn't even going to start production. And again, we don't know if that's going to be the actual start time or not, but the projected projection date, which a lot of times with Tesla is off, is not for basically the second half of a year from now. So almost 2 years from now is when that thing's going to start production, not ramped, not producing money to the bottom line, not anything else, just starting production there. So it is a long way off and well into the speculative category there. So for a lot of folks thinking they were going to announce it, it was going to be here this year and a lot of other things like that, we didn't get that at all. As a matter of fact, it looks like 2025 and the second half of 2025 is going to be the earliest that we're going to see that. And that's assuming Tesla hits timelines, which that's kind of hit or miss with Tesla. I'm not saying they can't do it. I think this is a very reasonable timeline. So, kudos on Tesla for getting better the second quarter in a row now where they've gotten better about that. But it's still a long way off. So it's not something I'm counting on affecting the bottom line anytime soon. So there's not a reason to really build it in at this stage in terms of the valuation today. Highlight number 2, the cash pile is still going up. Yes, I agree. The numbers were not great. There is nothing there that is supporting a higher multiple for Tesla at this stage than what you would have already given it there. Nothing is coming across like that. However, they are still making money. And that's the important thing to remember here. Despite margins going down significantly, despite them ramping up Cybertruck, despite other factories coming online, despite all the R&D spend on Optimus and everything else that they have working in the background there, despite all of that, they still added billions to that cash pile there. And that is hugely, hugely important to understand, kind of big picture there in regards to the financials. So despite the fact the numbers weren't great at all by Tesla standards, the reality is they're just fine. And any narrative that they're in trouble or anything else like that is just silly, because all I need to do is watch that cash pile continue to build up and go, they're going to be just fine. They have enough money to do everything that they want to do and would need to do in the future. So that right there was a great, great sign that I really didn't hear. Some people talked about it, obviously, but it wasn't a driving narrative that I heard with this earnings. And it's something that I absolutely, for me, was a highlight. Highlight number 3, Optimus is also a long way off. Look, they are shooting big, which means it's going to be further off than we expected. Obviously, way further off than what Elon said. And his team actually expects it to be way further off as well, if you were kind of reading between the lines with some of their comments. And obviously, Elon tried to jump all over him and correct it. It was just kind of, we kind of had a good chuckle with it there when we were watching the earnings call, because it's just, that's the reality of trying to do something incredibly hard. If they are just simply trying to make a robot that works in a factory, well, they're behind. Amazon already has that. Amazon already has purpose-built robots working in their facilities. They've had them for years now, and that's only continuing to grow. So just having a bunch of robots working around the factories there to make Tesla more efficient, of course, save on labor costs and a lot of other things like that, is nothing new. That's not game changing. That's not changing the world. So that's not what Tesla's actually trying to do. So a lot of the things that the robots can do right now, and a lot of the things that I think are going to be the quick hitters in terms of getting them out there in the wild, are going to be just basically like everybody else's robots that are already producing in factories and things of that nature. It's going to be closer to akin to that than it is what that final vision is. So we're not even to kind of getting up to just where everybody else is. We're not even there yet, much less to that next level that's going to be infinitely harder to get there. Do I think Tesla gets there? Of course I do. It is years, maybe even further away, so you have to keep that in mind, that all the talk and all the $1 trillion that are going to come because of Optimus and all these sorts of things, nobody knows, A, whether that's actually going to be true or not, and B, it is so many years off, it is pure speculation at this stage. So somebody trying to add $1 trillion of market cap or a higher multiple today for something that could be 5 or 6, 7, 8 years away is honestly kind of silly, and that's how you get yourself in trouble with Tesla stock. And highlight number 4, energy is just crushing it. Energy was really the big bright spot, and again, it was kind of glossed over in a lot of ways. And that, for me, it was just like, wow, the growth there is just astounding, and they continue to improve and make that great, despite the fact solar's absolutely sucking. I've said that from the start. I didn't like the product, didn't like the way it's offered. Tried to put Tesla solar on roofs in the past for some of my rental properties that I have. It was not even remotely competitive. Sorry, I'm just giving you guys facts. It wasn't, and the numbers are bearing it out in the earnings. They basically just need to cut that product or take it offline, completely revamp it, and come back with something different because it's just not working. Whether it's the actual product itself, whether it's the market itself, it doesn't matter to me in the end because on the earnings, it's proving that it's not working. So, but despite that, energy overall just crushed it. That to me is huge. And really, in terms of that long-term thesis, man, if they can keep up, I understand being able to keep up triple-digit growth rates may be hard, but man, those incredible growth rates that they're seeing, it's just amazing. And it's showing you there's so many other things in work for Tesla that are coming. And when they get started, they're coming really, really hard and making huge growth momentum moving forward. So obviously there's some great things happening. Obviously there's some not so great things happening as well. But what does it all mean to the stock price today in the short term? That right there is what we need to talk about next. Like I said before, we're in for some pain, and that's shown. We quickly, obviously broke that $200 mark, went down a lot lower down there, but we held the 180 line, which was huge in terms of Tesla stock. And obviously it's kind of in that netherland right now. Can it retake that $200 mark and stay above it? That would be massive. If not, if we can't take it and it continues to move down and we break the 180 line, boy, we're going to see some really discounted pricing there in Tesla, and it becomes much harder, and we start hitting those support lines a lot faster as it continues to fall, because that's what Tesla stock tends to do whenever it gains momentum up or down. The moves tend to be big, and obviously the traders and the algos and everybody else kind of pile into the stock itself. So we're really kind of at a dangerous time, kind of a perilous time right now with Tesla stock. So the question becomes, do you sell and then buy back the stock later, since I think we're all probably leaning towards, hey, it's going to be a rough next couple of quarters, and breaking that 180 line definitely seems feasible. It definitely is a huge possibility there. Oh, I only sell for 2 main reasons. There's actually more reasons, but there's 2 main ones that I always consider before I sell a stock. Is there a fundamental change in the business? For me, it's not here. There's nothing in this earnings call. I wasn't counting FSD. I wasn't counting Robotaxi. I wasn't counting Optimus. I wasn't counting, the Model 2. I wasn't counting any of those things in my calculations for Tesla stock. So for me, nothing's fundamentally changed. It's the same company it was before the earnings that it is after the earnings. And there's also been no change in regulation or anything like that. I mean, last time I checked, EVs aren't outlawed. I mean, unless you guys know something I don't, they haven't been outlawed. So there's been no fundamental changes with Tesla as a business. Number 2, a hype run up. Obviously, you guys know this clearly isn't a hype run up. We're going the opposite direction there. So again, I don't see a reason to sell. Your stock falling, to me, is not a reason to sell in and of itself. That's called reacting to stock price, and that's how come retail is known to buy high and sell low, because you're reacting to stock price, not what's going on with the actual company itself. Obviously, if Tesla were to go to 1,000 tomorrow, it's not worth $1,000 to me, no matter what multiple I assign to it, no matter how much I try to project out. I can't get anywhere near 1,000, so I would be forced out of my Tesla shares at that stage, even though I don't want to be. And I hate selling, and you guys know that. You follow this channel, you know I hate selling with a passion, because all it ends up being is a big mistake in the end. However, the only times it makes sense is whenever there's a massive hype run up, and unfortunately, you get a run up to 1,000 from here based upon this earnings, and that's a hype run. I don't know what else to tell you. I would be selling the stock. So since neither of those things happen, and I'm a long-term buy and hold investor, I know I should actually be buying the stock instead of selling the stock. Because if you're looking to sell now and buy later based on the price action, you're not long-term buy and hold investing. You are trading, you're day trading or swing trading, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. but that's a completely different strategy. And you better know what the heck the charts say, not what the earnings say or anything else. Day traders and swing traders are not actually listening to the earnings to see where the stock is going long term. They're looking to make money on the trade, and they don't care what stock it is that they're making money on the trade. They're just looking to make money on the trade. They're not looking at to play games to try to, time the market and get out here and buy there so that way I can buy more shares, and a lot of other games like that get played. That is a way long term to end up with a lot less shares and a lot less money and basically get burned on investing, because now you're swing trading, but you're not even accurately and appropriately using swing trading principles in order to execute that in order to win. Traders statistically get beat by dead people in regards to returns. Those are facts. So why even bother trying to be a trader when they can't even beat a dead person? To me, it's much better to follow guys like Buffett or Peter Lynch, who would not be selling and then trying to buy their stock lower. They would simply be buying more of the stock as it fell. And if you want to see my next buy alert on Tesla and my price target for Tesla and a ton of other stocks like that, make sure you check out the pinned comment down there for my group where you get all that information, all my buy and sell alerts. You get to take 5 courses for free, use our stock analyzer tool for free, be a part of the best 6, 7, and 8-figure Discord out there. We have so much more coming to the group, guys. I'm so excited for it. Make sure you check out the pinned comment down there and see if a membership's right for you. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market, and click here to see my exact plan for this market. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.